Welcome everybody to the Clarity and Focus session here at Consulting Unleashed. We're literally every day coming on here talking about tactical things, strategic things to bring on clients in the time of this craziness, to take advantage of the fact that the market actually needs you and your services right now desperately. If you are in the marketing world, if you are providing services, whether it be a copywriter, a web developer, a designer, graphic designer, email marketing, AdWords, Facebook, Instagram, PPC, LinkedIn, anything you're doing from a marketing perspective that is helping businesses out there get a better result from their output into the interwebs, into the digital marketing. This is the place where you want to be, because right now, every day, I'm unpacking tactical things and strategic things that you can apply and generate sales and results with. We've had a whole bunch of people in this series. In fact, if you go back to the series, go to the YouTube Consulting Unleashed YouTube channel, or if you go to the Consulting Unleashed Facebook group, you will see the results of what's been happening with the activity of people who've been in this group and applying some of these things. So thank you for being here. So today I want to talk about probably something that it's kind of I've always done this in the past. It's kind of a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. But because of the world that we're in, we have this idea that if we give, the value that we give is our time, right? So what we do for people is normally say in a normal natural sales process, we sit there and we say things like, look, I'll tell you what, we'll give you a free strategy session, or we'll do a free blueprinting session, or we'll do an implementation session with you, right? And we'll do that for free. So we won't value our time, we won't value our intellectual property, but we're happy to give you the gold at no cost, right? Now, that is making it frictionless, a low barrier to engaging you with a customer, right? But there are many people that I work with that are charging people $2,000, anywhere from $500 or a couple $100 to $5,000, even $10,000 to do a paid strategy session, to actually be paid for the time that you're giving away for free. So instead of doing all these free strategy sessions with people, imagine if you lined up 5 or 6 strategy sessions and you were paid $500 to $2,000 or more for those sessions. If you had 5, that's $2,500 of your time. Win, lose or fail, that's money you keep in your bank account. Perry, one of my consulting champions, when he first started his agency with me, he said, this is exactly what he said. He said, John, I can't do free. I've got a mortgage to pay. I've got kids to send to school, and I've got family. I can't do free. I have to get paid now. So I said, great. So only get paid for strategy sessions. Don't do free strategy sessions. Get paid. How long is a $10,000 strategy session? Anywhere between an hour to 90 minutes. An hour to 90 minutes, Chris. Easier to do than I originally thought. Yeah, Michael says easier to do than I originally thought. Absolutely. But one thing that, so just to go back to Perry's example. So he sat there and said, well, this is how we do business, right? Are you interested in taking advantage of this time? And your investment in this time is $2,000. Well, within a 6-week period, he sold 11 of them. 11 $2,000 sessions, that's $22,000. Now from the 11 $2,000 sessions, he generated 6 clients. 6 clients went from the paid strategy session to, hey, we need your help to do this, right? He basically upsold them to his service. So I'm going to talk about the breakdown of how you get paid for your time if you want to sell strategy sessions, some of the things that you can do and some of the ways in which you can position this. Remember, a paid session is one that has to deliver some values. They have to have something, or they have to end up with something. They've got to be better off having that session with you than where they were before. So you must provide value for the time that they're investing in. Another thing that will happen from a paid strategy session is the fact that now they're committed financially, which means they will actually value you more. They are more likely to spend more money with you because they've made a financial commitment right up front to spend more money with you, right? And the likelihood, so I'm looking at some of the champions I work with, Mark Condell. He would charge people $4,000 to do a strategy session with them. $4,000 upfront, right? Paid in full to do the session. Once at the end of the session, then he would actually have a 100% conversion rate into a paid service fee, right? He would run Facebook ads. what he did was he had a strategic alliance with ad agencies. He was really good at doing Facebook ads on scale. And so he would sit there and charge $4,000 to go through what people need to do as part of their structure and strategy for a Facebook campaign. Now, at the end of that, they'll sit there and say, well, great, we've got all this stuff. How are we going to run the Facebook ads? Right? So, well, we need to hire you. So the conversion rate was 100%. Every person that paid $4,000 took him on as a provider, right? He generated a client out of that, and he still does the same. Still does the same thing today in his niche. He works in the preschool, private preschool niche, and he sells an email marketing solution that is $40,000 a year to private preschools, right? And the way he sells it is they have to pay for a $2,000 strategy session, and at the end of the $2,000, he maps out exactly what they're going to do to generate private enrollments for school kids, right? So you can get paid. My first strategy session was happy to do it in order to minimize his risk of just dropping $5,000 for the setup. Yeah, so isn't that interesting? So Michael offered for somebody to pay to do the service as an initial introduction before they would go and invest further into the service, which is another way to do that. So here's the thing with being paid for your expertise. This is the thing you need to take into consideration. Right now, if you sat down in front of an accountant, he's going to bill you for his time. If you sat down in front of a lawyer, they will bill you for the time. If you want a financial planner to give you a proper plan, you're going to pay for that plan. It's not free, right? You will pay for people's time. There are people, so I'll give an example from my working life back in the day when I was working for The Man. We used to charge $50,000 for a gap analysis. That was our paid strategy session. I'm talking 30 years ago. We were charging 50,000 USD to do a gap analysis, to actually ask questions and prioritize the execution of strategy, and then we would place a fee on the prioritization. So we charge you $50,000 up front to do an in-depth question, answer, find out what's going on, assessment. Then we would create a report. That report would have action items on the report. Generally, it would have about 24 action items. And we used to make a joke out of it. For every action item, there was $250,000, right? So if you had 24 action items, well, that's $5 million from the client, right? That was an in-house joke, right? Every action item was worth $250,000. That was the deal, right? So then we had, in that gap analysis, after we delivered that and the report and the presentation and everything like that, then the next step is action, right? So here are the 3 things we need to work on now. Here are the people we need to assign to that project. Let's get that moving. And so that $50,000 would turn into a multi-million-dollar paid engagement for consulting, right? So we used to do it at the high level quite often. One of my consulting champions sold an SEO audit to Payless Shoes for $250,000. It was a 6-week engagement for $250,000, and they used regular SEO tools, no different tools than what most of us use here for SEO. They paid $250,000 to have an assessment done, right? So even in our world, we can actually sell audits. We don't have to give free audits away. If you can do a free quick snap audit, and then from the quick snap, you can say, hey, look, we can do something a bit more in depth and go further and deeper so that we actually know exactly what needs to be fixed. And then you can charge for that audit, right? You can charge $500 to $1,000 or more for a paid audit in the marketplace. So here's a philosophy, and here's the mindset you need to take. If you don't offer it, they can't buy it, right? If you don't offer the value, if you're sitting down thinking about how I'm going to sell this, they can't buy what you don't sell, right? And that's the challenge, right? They can't buy what you don't sell. And so you need to say, one of the services we provide is an audit, right? One of the things that I do for people, especially if people often want to, I get people saying this all the time. Hey, John, can I just pick your brains, right? Well, no, you can't, but you can pay for my time, and then you can ask me any questions you like, and I'll give you all the answers you want, and then at least you're going to go away with the clarity that you need. But if you want to pay for my time, it's going to cost you $495. for a 45-minute session with me. And in that 45-minute session, I'm going to record everything. And then you're going to have exact steps in that process. So $500, you want to do that. And so a lot of people will go, yep, I'll do that straight away, right? Because at the end of the day, if you pick my brains, right, that I'm not going to help you, right? There's no, like picking my brains, there's no action outcome solution to this process. There's nothing serious about picking somebody's brains, right? And nobody wants their brains picked. I don't want my brains picked. You don't want your brains picked, right? So if you value your time, then people will value what you have to offer. They will value what you're talking about, and they will engage you in what you want to be engaged in. So understand the first premise is that if you don't offer it, they can't buy it. And so one thing that you should have as an action item, as a professional, is to have people have the ability to pay for your time. So all of you on your web landing pages and web pages should have a thing, book a time with me. And then, so for example, on Calendly, so if you, all of you here, I'll show you exactly what I mean, right? So if you go to John Logar, sorry. This is a simple example. If you go to calljohnlogar.com, right? That's the URL. If you go to calljohnlogar.com, there are two options, right? The second option is a paid option for your time with me. I ask a series of questions and I give a guarantee on that information. All of you should copy that and do that for yourself, right? And offer that service to people who want to know more so that they can pay for your time. One of the ways that you want to get paid, right? You can say, hey, best way you can do this, best way to get the best value from me, if somebody comes to you, is let's do that initial session. And then from there, we can show you exactly what you need to do. And then you have a place where people will pay you for your time because you're offering to be paid for your time, if that makes sense, right? So oftentimes, if you don't offer it, they can't buy it. And let me tell you, lots of people click that button. Lots of people go and buy that session with me, right? Because I'm giving them very precise, actionable things that in some cases are going to end up generating hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars worth of revenue if they actually apply those things in that time. But at least they've valued that. If they've paid the money, then they're more inclined to commit to doing the thing that they say they want to do, right? So if you're giving it away for free all the time, then nobody's really going to value that. Like I'll give you an example, right? Now I know, and I'm mindful, right? That all of us here, my role here is to help as many people as possible get results and get revenue, get growing, get focused, get active. That's my goal, right? However, I know, and I'm being completely transparent when I say this, that a lot of you here have been sitting here like passengers and really haven't been taking a lot of action, right? A lot of you have been consuming, right? Still trying to get clear on what you're wanting to put out there and actually have not really made any progress to doing the things that I've been talking about in this last month. Every day I've pretty much given you actionable items, and you've seen, if you've watched some of the past videos, you've seen people share their results from actioning those items. So some of you here who've been applying, like Mark, for example, has been applying everything that he can, and lo and behold, through the activity that he's getting traction, he's getting people coming through his process, right? So here's the thing. And because this is free, nobody's paying for this. The only thing is, we've got time here together, and I really appreciate the fact that you've shown up in this time, right? If you don't action this, you've got no commitment to this. So it doesn't matter. I can give you all the best ideas in the world, but if you don't apply what I teach you, or if you don't at least get something out there so you can get feedback on it, and then you've just wasted an hour of your time. You've wasted every video that you've consumed that you've not taken action on. Years ago, I went through a moratorium because I used to, I'm a marketer, I'm a business person, I'm interested in growth and development and personal development, and I would buy programs after programs and trainings after trainings, and I would never look at them. I would open them once and never look at them. Hands up here, or just type 1 on the keyboard, right? If you've bought a program and never implemented the program, how many people? Just type 1. Let's get real. I'm putting up a hand because I've done this many times, right? A whole bunch of people. Don Baker's done it. Chris has done it. James has done it. Yeah, you've bought a program, you bought a product, right? You thought it was a great idea, and I'm sure the product is good, right? But you really didn't execute or implement. And so we might say, well, that didn't work, or that program. I like the idea of paid strategy sessions, offering a guarantee, and have having that fee go towards the implementation of their program. Yes, something I often talk about is, hey, if you book a session with me and you decide to engage me, then we're going to put that fee towards the thing that we engage you. That's another way to do that, right? So if you've done this, then what I did a number of years ago is I would look at a product or a program and go, okay, there's something I can learn here. So my goal is I have to apply what I'm learning, and I've got to get feedback on the application. Otherwise, there is no point in me spending the money. So my question is, right now, is this going to help me? And if it is, I need to take action on it now. So I would put in my calendar to take action on this training, right? Now, if I watch a training, right, if I'm consuming a training, that's what I do. Okay, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to get the idea. I'm going to run with that idea and see what happens, right? I get some feedback as quickly as possible. How many people here have bought a domain name thinking, I've got a great domain name, and never put a website up for the domain name? Anybody done that? I've done that many times. Bought great domain names and never put a freaking website on the domain, right? How many people got domain names that are really cool and they've not put a landing page on it, right? So here's my thing. If I ever buy another domain, the first thing I have to do is put up a landing page, put up an image, maybe a video, whatever. I have to do that. If I'm going to spend the $10 or $2 or whatever it is, I think this is a great domain. I have to create an entity for it. I have to put it up, and then I have to blast it out. Even if I don't do anything with the website, I've got something up. There's no point in hanging on to a domain that you're not using. And I had like at one stage, I had thousands of domains, thousands of them. And there were some really good brands in there, but they're worth nothing, right? So what I'm saying to you here is what you get for free, in most cases, you don't value, right? And right now, I've been turning up every day and giving away some of my best stuff for free. And a lot of people really haven't applied or haven't taken advantage of the situation, right? If you look back at the last month, I've been recording these every single day. I've been giving away probably some of the most profound, very specific, tactical things that you can do to grow your agency. You would never have to buy another training program for the rest of your life, because I've kind of given it to you right here if you haven't got the idea, right? I cannot give you more than actually what is working right now, right? So let's get back to getting paid for our time. So what we don't pay for, we don't value. And if we don't value ourselves, then the people who are in front of shouldn't be valuing us either. So sometimes just making the direct offer, right? If you saw the Call John Logar page, that second offer, just making the offer and saying, hey, look, if you want to do this, let's do this. I cannot tell you how many people have reached out to me saying, hey, can I buy an hour of your time? Absolutely, you can buy an hour of my time right here, right? And they buy it, they pay it, right? You know, fill in a form, ask all the questions, right? Put in a PayPal link. All that is a PayPal link, right, for a fee. And then you hit that once they pay, there's a welcome page that goes, hey, great, thanks. This is what's going to happen next, right? It sends them to a thank you page, and then we're off. And now I know that when that person shows up for the meeting, and I show up for the meeting, and they will show up because they've paid the money, right? They'll show up. I'm going to give them my best because they've invested in my time, yeah? And then from there, they might like what I have to offer or what we've been talking about, and they may take the next step, right? So every single person on here right now should go and set up your Calendly to accept a paid session, right? Who's here? Who's going to set that up today? I want you to send me your Calendly link with your paid offer today. Send it to john@consultingunleashed.com. If those who are going to get paid right now, set up your own paid session, copying what I did in the Call John Logar page, right? If you're going to do that, right, I want you to send me your paid page, right? Who's in? Just type 2 if you're in. Who's in? 2 if you're in. This is for every single person right now is going to get a paid page, right? So what I'm going to do is, if you send me an email to John, right, consultingunleashed.com, and show me your paid session on Calendly. So link it up to your PayPal account. It's really easy to do, right? Michael says, I need it. Okay, so Fabian Patar, good to see you here, Fabian. Nice to have you here, mate. So 222, lots of people twos. Yeah, so email me your offer to pay you for your time. And what you want to do now is you want to say, hey, and if you want to put an offer in there for what that time is for, even better. You say, hey, what I'm doing right now is I'm helping a whole bunch of people to get really clear and very specific about some ideas. If you want to take some time, I'm only going to open this up for the next few days. Here's a link. You can jump on my calendar. And at the end of this, we'll record the session. You'll have a whole bunch of stuff. So all of you here can actually go and generate sales or money in your bank account if you just copy what I just did, right? If you just copy what I did and just hop that off of that, if you say it, I will do it. Tom says, if you say it, I will do it. Yeah. So yeah, this is the fastest way I know that you can get paid for your time. So pick a random number. It could be $200. It could be $500. It could be $1,000. I've had $1,500 appointment sessions, right? How to create a campaign for a paid strategy. You just offer it, Mark. It's the same thing. You say, hey, this is what we're doing. We're helping people with some very specific things. Here's all the items that you'll get in this very specific thing. And at the end of that, you'll have your options, you'll have clarity. So what is the result of what it is in terms of what they're paying you time for, right? One page PayPal or Stripe or payment, either or, it doesn't matter. One page straight to, but you've got to have questions that you're going to ask because you need questions to be able to help them, right? So what you want to do is you want to go set up your payment page first. So these are instructions, right? Go and get a Calendly account. It's they're free accounts. I prefer a paid account because it's only like $9 a month. It's not very expensive. If you've got a paid account, you can brand it with your logo and do that sort of stuff. Then you open up an appointment thing and you go, great. I want their name, I want their email, I want their mobile phone number, right? Link it up to Zoom, so it's a Zoom meeting, so you can record it. That's the value proposition, right? And then what are the questions that you need to ask them to be able to help them with the offer that you're making? So in the description, this is what I'm offering you, right? And what you want to do. Michael, you can use PayFunnel to Stripe, absolutely. Calendly, they can give you a direct link to PayPal, to your PayPal account. So automatically, when somebody hits submit, they're going to pay first. So they can't submit the appointment. They have to pay the money first. Once they pay, it'll book the appointment. It's a really cool way to get paid in advance. So all of you here who are listening to this, what I've just done for you is I've just shown you how to get paid for your time by creating a mechanism very easily for people to actually book your time. Limit the appointment options. Yeah, I normally have only 3 times a week for my paid sessions, so I don't book out all my paid sessions. And you don't want to show people an open calendar with lots of time slots. So what you want to do is when you set this up, you just want to set it up with available between this time and this time, this time and this time. And I'm only about, I think I have there's only 6 time slots you can get. So if I've got appointments in those time slots, there might only be 1 or 2 time slots a week that you can actually book that time with me. So all of you here, I've just opened you up to getting paid for your time. You now need to think what you're offering for that time. You might offer a blueprint. You might offer a planning session. You might offer an implementation or a walkthrough workflow for a thing that you do, right? You might offer to say, hey, let me show you how the Facebook ad campaign can work. Let's do an internal audit. Let's do a strategy, and let's do the execution or what needs to happen to make that work. To do that, $1,000 or $500, whatever you want to choose. You get to pick the price, by the way. You get to pick the price. I like to put a guarantee on my thing that if a person has ever sat down with me and they don't feel that they've gotten the value, I'm happy to refund the money, but I want the money up front. By the way, in 27 years of doing this, I've never had to pay a refund. 27 years. Nobody has ever asked me for a refund for my paid time, ever. So I've never, even though I've made a guarantee, even I've given that guarantee and said, look, at the end of the day, you can keep the recording, you can keep the money if you're not happy. I'd rather you get value from our time. So if you feel, and I say that at the end of the session, has this been helpful? Has this been valuable to you? Do you want me to refund you the money? I actually asked that question at the end. Everybody said, no, don't be silly. No, this was awesome, right? Great. I get to keep the money, but now I've been paid for my time, not free. So if you want to be paid, this is one of the easy ways to get paid. Craft an offer around your paid time, some value, right? Recording the time is valuable, right? Because then they can go back with notes and those sorts of things, right? If you do what I do with the iPad, when I start drawing and writing notes out and stuff like that, I actually give them the notes, right? I actually take a snapshot of notes and then I say, great, well, here's the recording. And by the way, here's the notes that I've taken away, and then just give them the notes. So I use things like Notability on iPad, which is really easy. But all of you here, what I want to see in the next 24 hours is I want you to email me, john@consultingunleashed.com, right? And I'd like you to email me your paid strategy session, using Calendly. So how to get paid. So ask some questions that you think are relevant for you to have what you want to have in this process. And then more importantly, make sure that you have that put that PayPal link in there so that you have a paid session. And some people, I'm going to put this out there, that if I think you've got a great offer, I will pay you money for your time. I'm serious, right? If you've got a great offer, I'll freaking buy your time from you. So some of you here might end up with me as your client for the paid strategy session. And we've got some pretty amazing people here, so it looks like I'm going to be spending some money, right? So Alan, good to see you. Andrew, good to see you. Bill, Chris, Chris. Anybody else? If you've got any questions, Tom, good to see you here. Trent Blasco, as always. Michael N, always nice to see you here. John Marenko, congratulations on this sale. In fact, in a moment, John, I'd love to be able to unmute and have a bit of a chat with you if we can. Any questions? Any other questions? Any questions that you'd like me to answer on getting paid for your strategy sessions? I've kind of just shown you exactly how to get paid immediately. And then what you want to do is send an offer. Say, hey, I put this idea together. Are you interested? Boom, pay me. Be interested to see if anybody makes some sales for their paid strategy session. Because from a paid strategy session, that gives you the license to ask a lot more questions, go deeper, provide incredible value, and from there, say, maybe we can get away on how we can work together to implement some of these things we talked about. This is a big opener for you to generate clients. So this simple idea, every single one of you here can be paid for your time if you offer it out there in the marketplace. So I'm happy to answer any questions you've got with regard to this idea. Happy to do that. Otherwise, we've got John Marenko. John, I'm just going to unmute you, mate, so we can have a bit of a chat with the group here. Hey, John, how you doing?
Hello.
Hello. How are you, mate? How you doing?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm good, man. First of all, congratulations on cracking a 2K per month SEO sale. That's awesome. Well done.
Thank you.
In a time of craziness, that you're still booking out SEO deals, which is really good to see. Are you okay to just talk about your approach to generate that client? Okay to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So number one, I just want to share with the group that this time period, it was like, oh shoot, what do we do, right? It's like, okay, so I just started asking anybody and everybody who was a contact, in my contact world, Facebook, LinkedIn, whoever it was, and just saying, hey, do you need help with your online marketing? And what do you got going? What's happening? And so this particular contact said, yeah, actually we do. Can I talk to you? And then, we scheduled it for a couple days. And then it's actually his boss that needed some search marketing, some SEO. And we went from there, just basically I showed him some unique ideas, showed him, asked him a bunch of questions, figured out what they needed, showed them something outside the normal. A lot of times SEO proposals are just templated. So I took some time to actually understand what they needed, put some GeoGrids together. A good resource for everybody to know, if you don't know about it, is localviking.com. It prepares a... So
was that local what?
Local Viking. Localviking.com.
Viking.
It's a paid tool, but it shows local rankings in a GeoGrid, like every mile. It shows where they're listed in the GMB, and it's a more unique way to sell. Say, hey, look, this is where you're ranking, and then we went from there, and that's how it happened.
That's awesome, man. So I just want to break this up so everybody can just sort of get a recap of what you've just said, right? So, all right, so you're sitting there going, I've got to get some business, got to get things happening. You went out to all your contacts, social media, everybody, and say, hey, does anybody need help with some online marketing? And then one person said yes. And in fact, the decision maker was not the person who said yes. The person who they worked for was the decision maker. They said, yeah, let's have a chat about this, right? So then you provided some value. And a couple of things that came up in this is you didn't just do the regular value, you actually shared some unique ideas. So you added actually more value. You came to that position of, hey, I really want to help you guys. Here's some of the things you need to be paying attention with. By the way, here's an area that you need to focus on. And I've just used a bit of research on a particular tool, which was localviking.com, giving you a geo map of what's going on from a Google My Business perspective. So you added value in the process. So the thing you said is that I just didn't do a generic SEO proposal. What I did was I showed some highlights or showed some things that I know that would make an impact that normally people don't talk about. So if I broke that down, 1, you made the offer. 2, somebody said yes. 3, you provided them with incredible value. They know that they wanted to actually do this. They felt that they needed SEO. And number 4, you made the offer. Now you've got a client that's committed to $2,000 a month for SEO. If they stay with you for a year, John, that's $24,000. That's not a bad little process to repeat. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So do you want to get more appointments, John? Can I help you right now live to get more appointments to do exactly the same thing of what you just did?
Let's do it.
Okay. So we're going to repeat the same process, but we're going to have a different approach. We're going to repeat the same process, but we're going to have a different approach. Because at the end of the day, if we're not offering all the time, we're not going to generate opportunities. So what I would do is, rather than the generic, hey, does anybody need help with their online stuff? I would pick something that will make a direct impact right now. So think about, like, you're using Local Viking, right, as a source. Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So what I would do is, so right now I've got the data on your business in your locality right now. If you're interested in me showing you that data, right, and making sure that you're using the positioning of that for where you're at right now in terms of the visibility of the market, ping me, let me know, and I'll give you the data.
Yes.
You like that?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah. Like, if somebody offered that to you, right now I've got this information that I can squarely know exactly the positioning of your business in relation to the competition in the marketplace from a geophysical location. Right now, I've got that data right now. Would you like me to give you your data? Would you be interested, John?
That's absolutely, yes, of course. That's actually really good because it hits all the psychological points of, curiosity and
yeah,
about them. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, we're pinpointing what we're trying to do is we're trying to leverage people's positioning in their local market. And right now, we've been using a really very specific strategy to pinpoint the data of your positioning in your local market. So we're just reaching out. If anybody knows exactly where they're sitting right now in the local market from a visibility point of view, and right now people do need to call you and do need to find you, what I'm more than happy to do is to give you that data. If you're interested, just ping me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right. Yeah. So go back to all the same people again, same people, right? Go and make that offer, right? And see what happens, because what that's going to do for you, John, is that is going to put you directly in line for an SEO conversation.
Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely.
James says, James Sharkey says, I taught John everything he knows. I don't know what that means, James. Yeah. So love to know what happens from that feedback. Do the same thing. Pump that message out there saying, hey, I've got your data. I know exactly what's going on. I'm happy to give it to you to show you exactly where things are going. But this thing is going to directly position you in line with taking advantage of visibility in the market. So if you want this, I'm just offering this to people as I know what's going on. So if you want to see where you sit and where you fit right now in real time with that data, then just ping me. I'd love to see how many appointments you get from that. Be interesting to see how many people come back to you.
Yeah, that's really good, because number one is the data is really, really unique, and it actually provides tons of value, right? So offering what you offer, saying that is super Yeah, it's awesome.
But that gets you into that conversation that you want to have to say, hey, it's all very good talking about this data, but it's worthless if we don't put an implementation plan to make sure that we get you ranked, yeah, and we get you visible, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because in some cases, in some cases in group categories, just by actually filling in the GMB form with the images, the title tags, the videos, the citations, just by doing that, in some cases, people have immediately appeared in the block of 3 on Google. Right, but if I can't find you on GMB, and that's the other thing, is take a snapshot of the maps right now and see if they show up in maps when you do the search for the business.
Yep.
Because right now, one of the things I'm doing when I'm searching, so I needed a particular service, and I needed to know if the store was open. So what I do, hopped on GMB and on maps, typed in business, right, location, and then it showed up on the map. And then it showed me all the stores that were closed. We're closed right now due to coronavirus. And then it showed me also the stores that were open. And so guess who I went to, John?
The one that was open.
Yeah. I went and spent $1,000 with an open store when there could have been a whole bunch of others that were a lot closer to me. I had to drive a lot further to go and spend that $1,000, right? But there were stores a lot closer who decided that we're not in business right now. Whereas this guy, we're in business. And when I went and spoke to him and said, how are you going? He said, yeah, we've got customers coming every day. I thought, isn't that interesting? Right? And I said, have you noticed perhaps an increase or perhaps customers coming from different locations? Is what they did was they collected my zip code when I went and did the purchase. And he said, yeah, we're noticing a lot of zip codes that are way out of our range. Yeah. He said, yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I said, the reason why is because you're freaking open. And people are looking for you, and all these customers from these outer zip codes would never have found you if I didn't do this thing right here. I actually showed him what I did, and he went, "Oh yeah." Now I'm not in the SEO business, but I could be, but I could have made a sale right there and then. But I
think I remember.
Sorry, I was reading something in the chat.
I think I remember you telling that story before. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So that's the story. Because you're doing the GMB things. Hey, if you're not open here, nobody knows you're open. Yeah.
And absolutely. And pictures. We've noticed just putting up good pictures is just a huge key. Just put pictures. Hey, put a picture up of we're open. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, we're open. My favorite open for business story is there was a liquor store, right? And they'd been there for years, and a giant player came in and opened up around them, right? So they had 2 entrances for this liquor store. They had an in and an out, but this store was in the middle, right? This player couldn't buy this property, but they wanted the location. So they said, screw the business owner, we're just going to build around you. We're bigger and bolder and brighter. And so what the liquor store did was once they opened the store and built the store, he put up this huge neon sign on his board above his door, and the sign said main entrance. Right?
That's hilarious.
And so all the traffic would go into that particular store. One of the PT clients we work with, I told that story to, and they were in a situation where they had a larger player open up in front of them, like a clinic open up in front, and they were in a sort of battle axe back position. And I said, look, why don't you just stick a big pole sign, billboard out the door saying main entrance around the corner, right? And, and so we went and did that, and all of a sudden, all the people would bypass the other clinic and go to his clinic. So let people know that you are open for business. That's the deal. And on GMB, that's a great way to let people know you're open for business. So, man, I really thank you. Congratulations. I really appreciate you sharing. I'd love to know, with that campaign using Local Viking, love to know what sort of feedback you get back from that offer of saying, hey, right now I've got the data for location. Do you want it? It's going to show you the comparative of where you are, where all your competitors are. But more importantly, you need to be visible and you need to be open. And if people don't know, you're missing out on sales and traffic. So you want to know this. And if you want to know this, ping me and brang, you've got yourself an appointment. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I will let you know. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing, man. I really appreciate you being on the call.
Thank you.
Okay, so any other questions here? We are in question time. Andrew Suva, good to see you here, man. Let me get your mic, my friend. Hey, Andrew, you there?
Hey, can you hear me?
I got you loud and clear, man. Good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Let me answer your question for you, my friend.
Yeah, so I'm sending out videos to mostly local businesses now. But I guess my question is just, what would you recommend, or like what would be the best copy to put in the email to get people to actually click on, you know, and watch the video?
All right. So here's the thing. I'm gonna outline. So anybody listening to this can use this strategy as well. But I'm just going to outline something for you, Andrew, just to kind of make this a lot more powerful. And more importantly, to maximize your conversions, right? So I'm going to just share a story with one of the people that I worked with ages ago. They did 89 videos. They did 89 videos to the market, and they were basically website walkthroughs. So they were sitting there saying, hey, you need to make some changes. These are the things you need to do. They would send a video, send an email, and they would never follow up the email, right? They would never follow up the email, but they sent this out. Now, out of 89 people, they picked up 10 jobs. They picked up 10 website jobs, which was pretty good, right? It was pretty good. But he never followed up the other 79 people, right? And then he came and said, so what do I do, John? I need to go, you know, this took a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of energy to do the videos. I can do that again, but, you know, how do we speed this thing up? And I said, well, go back to the 79 people that didn't buy and send them the same video. And ask them, say, I didn't hear back from you. I did this for you. Love to know what you think about it. That was the strategy. And lo and behold, goes and picks up another 7 jobs from people who'd already sent videos to 3 months before. So let's look at this video strategy and actually make the video strategy work, so that 1, we get the engagement, and 2, that we take the next step. So can you just very quickly describe me what this video is about? What are you videoing people about?
So the service I provide is sort of like a business growth package, but mostly focused on SEO and PPC, and then eventually upselling into like sort of what you talk about with Reignition, like you know, managing follow-up, just improving their whole sales process.
Yep. I'm just writing notes while you're talking here. So tell me a little bit about the video. Do you have a video handy? Can you show us a video?
Yeah, I do have. I would have to get the link off of my computer.
Okay.
But it basically, it follows Nick Robbins' methodology. I know. I'm sure you're very familiar with his
Nick Robbins, one of my
VSLs
champions.
and stuff. Yeah. But I put out the videos last year, and they got good results. But it was I had too much work going on then, so I actually had to stop doing the videos for a while.
Yep.
And I guess another question I was going to ask is, like, during this whole crisis, should it be more based on value and not doing the whole VSL process, just make it completely value driven? Like,
yep.
You know what I mean?
So here's what I would do, right? I would still use some VSL elements, right? But what I would do is more focus on what needs to be. So right now, people need practical, logical, pragmatic ideas, right? Things that are going to make an impact now, not in 2 months' time, not in 3 months' time, but now, right? So something that does get an impact right now is AdWords. You want phones to ring, you got to run some AdWords, right? So the way I would approach the video, because a VSL is more talking about the what and the why, and then, you know, if you want to know more, click here, right? Mate, I would go back to, I would do exactly the same thing, but the only change or the switch up that I would have is saying, hey, these are some options that you need to be aware of right now. These are the things that you need to be aware of in your business. And if you're not aware of them, you need to take some action on them, right? Right now, you need visibility. Right now, you need to let people know that you're open. And right now, you need to be aware of the mini boom that's about to come. We're about to, all our government stimulus packages right now are about to hit all the businesses and employees in the marketplace. That cash is about to hit. We're about to go into an unlockdown motion. So the restrictions are going to be eased, meaning people are going to come back to the market. So the number one objective right now is to become visible. If you're not visible and people can't find you, then they can't do business with you. So one of the things that we're trying to help people understand is to see your visibility so that you make sure that the gap that is being left in the market by people who aren't coming back in, that you are the person that becomes the first choice. If you're interested in looking at where you sit right now and what your opportunities are, I'm helping people to understand what they can do to make sure that you stay open, to make sure that you're visible, and to make sure that people know that they can buy your product or services. If you haven't changed your message in the last 3 months, then we need to look at ways of changing your message that is more relevant to where people are at today. And if you want to make sure that you're keeping your employees employed and keeping cash flow into the business, then here are some things that you need to be paying attention to. I'm going to be reaching out to you to answer any questions you've got with the material that I've provided. So if you want to dramatically improve conversions on these videos, Andrew, that's the script. So that was at the 40, if you think the 44-minute mark of this video, you can go back and watch this, right? So that script that I just gave you is the script that I would put into that structure. And then what I would do is I would follow up every video right now, man. I say, look, I did this for you. I personalized this for you. Right, or I made sure that you were aware. I was making sure that this is something you need to be aware of, and I'm just touching base. If you can give me 60 seconds, you can let me know whether or not we should continue the conversation. I would not just leave the videos out there, Andrew. I would just touch base and say, hey, just want to make sure you got it. If you haven't got it, here's the link. Right, love to know what you think about it. I'm going to be following you back up again to get some feedback, or more importantly, perhaps answer some questions, maybe give you some help that you need to be looking for. You got it? If you want to dramatically improve, I would change the message. And the other thing that I would do in the email is I would put the image. Are you personalizing the video, or are you just doing generic video?
Personalized URLs.
Okay, so what you want to do is take the photo of their website, take a screenshot of the website and put it in the email.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually did that last time on the second email, the follow-up email. Just so people know. I was doing it so people know what the page looks like, and in the image you could see the URL, so they're not so scared to click on a link from someone in an email.
Yep. Test it with putting the image in the first email.
Okay.
I get open rates. I get open rates, higher open rates when I put their image in the email.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would follow up every video, man. If you're going to do a video and you're going to take that time and you're doing a little bit of personalization, I would follow up and say, hey, just making sure you got that. If you haven't, I'll resend it to you right now. Have you got it? Great. Click that thing, watch that thing. I'm just trying to help businesses who want to stay in business. Two, actually want to take advantage of the gap that's being opened into the market. We're helping businesses get amazing results with what we do. And right now, more than ever before, you need to get your online stuff together. So if you want to know what you do, or you want to know what your options are, it's worthwhile at least having conversation. There's your script. Okay.
Yeah, perfect. And then what are your thoughts on like the call to action at the end of the video? Should it just be like push for the free strategy call, or
no. Give me your phone number. Give me the best phone number I can call you on. Okay. Right. You want a conversation. Yeah.
Right.
People are not going to click that's friction, right? Friction is go and book my time, go and fill in a form. That creates friction, right? So in this particular scenario, we'll want to eliminate the friction. So the fastest way to eliminate friction is to say, just give me the best number I can contact you on, and I'll jump on. We can have a quick chat. And then you can say, then you can qualify the person, then you can take them to your appointment thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I was qualifying them, I'd book the appointment on the spot anyway. And if you've got questions, I'd just ask the questions that they would normally fill in on the form in that phone call. That way you got it all. Mm. So open up the booking sheet, and you put the person's name in. So I've got this question: which of these apply? A, B, or C? Oh, B. Great. Tick. So what you're going to do is when you hit submit, it automatically sends them their answers, and you now know what you need to know about that person. So you might as well book the appointment live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to, right now, the less hoops you make people jump through, the better. The less hoops you make people jump through, the better. right? And the idea is, how do I make it easy for you? How do I make it easy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just have one more. Yeah, that helps a lot. Thank you. I just had one more question. It's not related to the videos, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So I know the other day you talked about the strategic partners and partnering up on a list and all that. And the good news for me is that I've recently finally developed like the system and process to develop great lists. Like I can get verified emails and names of CEOs of basically any business.
Yeah.
So do you have like a specific strategy for, like, if you were going to, I know you talked about the physical therapist suppliers that you wanted to partner up and work together on a list with. Like, how would you, if you're selling Facebook ads or something like that, how would you create an offer together?
So if you're, so what I would do is, so let's just take one step back. You've got two businesses here, Andrew. One, the list getting business. Let me build your database for you. That's the business. That's a product. Right now, do you want me to get you targeted buying customers, decision makers, their contact details, and put that database together for you? You know, do you want 1,000? Do you want 2,000? Do you want 5,000? People will pay you freaking $4 or $5 grand just for that, right?
Right.
That's a service, right? That's something you can sell very valuably right now. If you've got a system to be able to do that, then sell that system. That's one of your offerings right now, is let me give you a targeted list. Right? Email marketing and online marketing has become more important than ever before. What most people have is they don't have a targeted prospect list. So what we do is we build you a targeted prospect list. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's, mate, there's, you know, you can charge, you know, if you were doing, let's say if you could build a targeted prospect list of 1,000 contacts, right? And that means you've got verified email and you've got the, you know, the addresses and stuff like that. And you can charge, you know, $3,000 just for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know you mentioned like how they, you know, like as a strategic alliance, how you could offer that list and then
yep. So now that's my second. This is my part two.
Okay.
Yeah. This is part two, right? So part one, why don't you just put a package together and offer that to the market and say, hey, right now we're building these things. We've got a process, a system, a structure. If you're looking for targeted clients, right, we'll give you a list for $3 grand, and for another $5 grand, we'll do the strategy and the outreach and the marketing for you to generate appointments, right? So $8,000 package, list building for 1,000 leads and appointment setting.
Yeah.
That's one. Okay, so package number two, strategic alliance package. If you can build a list, right, you want to sit there and say, listen, right now, I want to. Are you interested in partnering up with us? We have thousands of people that we can go to in the market for your product or service. We are targeting the same people, and we've got a list of people. Can we get together and look at some partnering options on how we can maximize, you know, sales opportunities for your business? And maybe we look at how we can work together. That's an easy offer to make. That's the first. That's the outreach that I would do. Right now, I know your customer base, or I know a customer list or customer base. I know how to access that base, and I've got people that we can drive people to your offer. Would you be interested in looking at partnering up and having conversation of how we can mutually benefit by selling your product to that market? Yes or no?
Yep.
Do you think you're going to get a yes?
Most likely.
Yeah. Every email that I've sent out, they've gone, yeah, absolutely, let's talk. Right? You know, yeah, let me give you access to business that you can't access right now, right? And let's talk about how we can work together. I'm interested. You want to make that offer to me, Andrew? I will say yes to that offer every day of the week. Right?
Yeah.
So that's that offer is easy, right? So now you've got two options, right? Number one, work out a deal, run a campaign, take a percentage from their deal. Work with them, say, hey, let's do the thing, put some skin in the game. We'll set the whole thing up, go and generate the leads, run the campaign, you close the deals. Any sale you make, we take a cut. That's number one. That is a pragmatic, practical opportunity with them, right? Now, the other way we can do this is, like, we help people the people you serve, the people you help, our goal is to get them to get more patients or get more clients to spend more money with you, right? So why don't we do a value-added joint venture together where we do a training on, one, how they use your product or service effectively in the market, and number two, how they can actually generate more client opportunities for their business. Can we get together? I'll take care of the marketing. I'll take care of the Zoom call. We'll give you a landing page. All we're going to do is invite people to this call. And this way, one, you're going to, if you've got a new product to launch or you've got an update that you want to release, let's do that in that training. But on the second side of this, we're going to give them some training. And at the end of that, if they like to get some access, they can get some access to some cool stuff over here. So this is a value add that we can work on together. That's how I would do it, Andrew.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That way, they're still in the loop. They get value, right? This is the way, one, you can connect, engage, open the door to picking up sales for your clients because it puts you in front of them. Two, you're doing it in a virtual way. So this is a new way of people communicating with you. Number three, we're adding value with some ideas. We know that we can make a direct impact on their businesses. So you're adding value. You're doing something a little bit different, right? So this is a way of saying thank you, right? And number two, you've got sales opportunities and we'll provide them with some resources that they can take advantage of. That's what we want to do, yeah? And then from there, guess what? You're going to get appointments, lots of them. Every time we do a joint webinar, we pick up between 5 and 10 clients every time we do it. So for us, it's worth between 150,000 and 300 grand every time we do it. By the way, we don't pay any commissions either. We don't pay any referral fees. We don't pay any commissions. None.
So you recommend the webinar mostly instead of like,
yeah, do call it a web event. Don't call it a webinar. Call it a web event. Yeah. He's not going to understand. Yeah, understand. This is the thing you need to understand about this whole process, Andrew. They don't give a crap about your business. They don't give a crap about you. They don't give a crap about what you sell. It is not their business to be selling your business, right? That's not their job. They are not going to sell for you. They are not going to recommend you, right? That is not their job. Their job for them is how do they benefit from you? How do you add value? How do they, what is the positive spin or the optimistic spin for them where you create such perceived value for them that they will just literally open their database to you, right? Because remember, it's not their job to sell you. That's not their business. And you don't want them to sell you, right? But what you can do is you can position yourself as an authority, as a service, as a provider to their audience. You know, one of the things I've done, in fact, I did just recently. Somebody invited me into their business and asked me to do some training specifically for their people around what they need to do from an email marketing point of view, right? And so now every client gets access to that, and our agency will get the kudos for that access. Yeah. So strategic alliance is a great way to do it, but most people do it wrong. Most people do it selfishly, right? Because most people think, what am I going to get out of this, right? How do I get them to say yes to this? It's all about manipulation. Like, it's all about how do we coerce them into thinking like this is a great idea? It's not about that. This is a pure value-added, selfless play. It's not selfish, it's selfless. So being selfless means you need to take control of the whole situation. You do the landing pages, you do the marketing emails, you do the invitations, you do the follow-up, you make it easy. They don't have to do anything, right? Because what you're trying to do is make them look good. If you ask them to do something, they're going to fuck it up. Yeah. Right? In a strategic alliance, if you're going to do a strategic alliance, if you're going to do a JV with somebody, you have to take charge of the JV. It's your idea, so you need to own the idea and run the idea. You want to make it so easy for them to go, unbelievable, this is so cool. I don't know why we didn't think of this before. Yeah. Right? That's how you want to make this work. And if you get that right, if you follow that line of thinking, then it literally just opens you up to door after door after door of opportunity, right? And I know a lot of people are saying, this is awesome, this is great, thank you. I appreciate that, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. So as like the recap, so you would basically help them deliver a lot of value by using the list that you have and then help create campaigns and reach
That's
out
one
to
approach.
generate them sales.
That's one approach. Yeah, that's one approach. The other approach is, hey, let's run a webinar and sell more of your product for you.
Yeah.
Right? Now, they won't know how to run a webinar, will they? In most cases.
Probably not.
Yeah. No. But you do know how to run a webinar, Andrew, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah. So, hey, why don't I help you run a web event to showcase your product? You know, and then they introduce you. Hey, this is Andrew, right? He's a specialist from ABC Marketing, right? We got him in here because we wanted to show you or showcase how you can take advantage of some of the updates, some of the things that we're doing.
Yeah, but to get to that point,
that's a result for them. Yeah.
To get to that point, you would have to first off be delivering so much value, like with them utilizing your lists and helping them generate sales, and then you would set up that webinar where they would help introduce you to their clients. That's the whole strategy, right?
Yeah. And it's not about introducing you to their clients. It's got nothing to do with introducing you. What it's got to do with is you're going to bring some value to their clients, right? It's not an introduction. It's, hey, this is all about them. This is not about you, right? So ABC Company, who is in your market, is saying, hey, we've been talking to Andrew Suva, and he's an expert in Facebook advertising and lead generation for businesses just like ours. And we talked about this idea of perhaps showing you some of the things that you should be aware of in marketing more of your services. So we brought Andrew along to train you, to demonstrate to you, and we're going to make this information available to you. But Andrew, on the way, show us how to do this. And at the end of this, Andrew says, by the way, if you've got a lot of value of what we're talking about here, we've stuck this page up here where you get free resources. So if you hop on this company's website, or if you hop on where you're getting this video, or if you're in the email if you get the email and you get this video, you can click on that link and get these extra resources. And guess what the extra resource is right there on the front page when they land on the resource page? Guess what the first resource is?
I'm sorry.
What do you think the first resource is when they hit your landing page after this value add that you've given? Guess what the first number one resource is? Guess what it is?
Would it be a replay?
No. What do you want, Andrew? What do you want? You want a freaking appointment, yes?
Yeah. Book a call.
Yeah. So the first thing is you got the video, right? By the way, we talked about those ideas. What we would like to do is we'll show you how you can apply that idea specifically to your business. So just jump on for a 15, 20-minute quick chat. We show you exactly how you can trigger this for yourself. So your first offer is make an appointment with me. Andrew, do you want people to spend money with you, or do you want people to waste your time?
Waste my time, please.
Quick question. Yeah, quick question, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing, you've already done the hard work. So the step one, book a time with me. Step one in this page, right? Thanks for watching the training. By the way, 3 critical things. Bang, bang, bang. Book time. Take advantage. Book a time right here, right? Right up front, right? Because now you've got them on your page. Number 2, join our Facebook group. Or number 2, grab this cheat sheet or whatever. That's number 2, right? Number 3, right? Whatever you want number 3 to be, right? Yeah. But the first thing, if you're going to drive them anywhere, hey, I've got this thing, make some time, right?
Yeah.
That's a license to print money, Andrew. If you apply that strategy, you're going to crush it.
Okay? Right. Will do.
All right, man. Thanks for being on the call, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for everything.
Let people know that we're doing this every day, and I can help people just like you. Right? I've pretty much crafted your whole strategy for you in 3 different categories.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
All right, man.
Really appreciate it.
You're going to have to listen to this recording, Aaron. You're going to have to listen to this recording.
It's going to be saved for sure.
Yeah. So, because I think I did a little bit of scripting there for you as well. But, mate, thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. This also helps a whole bunch of other people that are on here as well to take advantage of stuff. So I do really appreciate you giving your time, man, on here.
Yep.
Awesome. So, any questions? We've got a few questions. So so a couple of things from today, right? All of you should set up a Calendly appointment for a paid appointment, and then you want to build a value offer for your time. What are you going to give away for your time? And then what you want to do is go and email that out to everybody and say, hey, I've put this together for you. Normally I would charge double or triple this, but if you want to, if you really want to get some focus, some clarity, book a time, go and sell the time on your calendar. So all of you are going to get paid for strategy sessions. How cool is that, right? That's what you've learned. That's what you should have taken away from this training, right? Is that you are going to get paid for your time. You're not going to give it away for free all the time. So just go to Calendly, set up your thing, copy exactly what I did over at John Logar, calljohnlogar.com on the paid one. There's a free one, but there's a paid one. Copy that same thing, right? Change the questions, obviously, to suit yourself. Make sure you select a price point for them to pay you. And then when they go to hit submit, it immediately takes them to your PayPal or your Stripe. They fill in the thing. When they press pay, it automatically makes the appointment, and you are going to be paid for your time. So, how would you sell a paid strategy session for a recognition campaign? Mark, absolutely. The same way I would sell a strategy session for a Facebook campaign. The same way I would sell a strategy session for an AdWords campaign. It's the same thing. I don't understand the question. How would you sell it? You offer it, right? So great, we've got a process, we've got a structure, we can map out a reignition campaign for you. We normally charge $200 to $500 for that, right? Just book a time, let's walk you through and show you exactly what to do. At the end of that, you can decide whether or not we help you. It's pretty simple. No, there's nothing bad about offering a free offer for a paid appointment. No, you can provide incentives. So for example, if you look at the paid appointment, I'm giving the offer that I'm making you is you get the recording, right? We actually answer your questions, give you very specific instructions, action plan to implement, and you get the copy of the recording. So that's the additional value for booking that time with me, that paid time with me. And at the end of that, I've given a risk guarantee that if you're not happy at the end of that session, I'm going to ask you whether or not you want me to return the money. And if you say you want the money back, I'll return the money. So you've got nothing to lose. So book the time, right? So that's just using that type of strategy. Ramon, Daniel, good to see you here, man. Ramon, good to see you here on these calls. So any other questions? Question. Omar's been sending out 25 cold emails with follow-ups every day, but I haven't had any replies. That's because you need to go and pick up the phone and call them. You need to pick up the phone and call them, Omar. Why didn't you reply to my email? Why are you not liking my offer? Ask that question and I'll guarantee you get appointments. That's what I would do, Omar. Pick up the phone, call them and ask them. That's what you want to do. Obviously, the message that you're sending out might not be hitting relevant or might not be hitting the person. Maybe you need to look at your open rates. Anybody that's opened the email, Omar, they're the people that will pick up the phone to. Just touching base, I know that you opened the email. I just want to know why you didn't take the next step, right? What was not helping you, right? That's one of the easiest ways if you want to make appointments, Omar. Fastest way to make appointments. So you need to change up your message, Scott. What are they saying no to? What are you offering them? How are you constructing the offer? Are you going in for the kill? Are you trying to get married too quickly? Or how are you helping them? Those are the things you need to take in consideration, right? Of course, somebody will say no to you if you make a direct offer that isn't relevant to them, right? But you've got to, you're building a relationship, you're building rapport. Most people, what people try to do is they try to get married too early, right? They try to go, great, let's get the appointment, let's get the strategy session. No. Let's just see if this is an idea that maybe resonates with you first. What are you doing right now? What are you doing that's helping right now? What are some of the things that's working? What's not working? What are you worried about right now? What are some of your concerns, right? Talk about that first and then say, well, look, we help people by doing this thing. Is this something that might be useful to you? Yes or no, right? At the end of that, you can decide whether or not we work together. It's not hard. Once you get people on the phone, if you have common sense, if you understand the next step in the relationship is to let's book a time to talk about the thing that you want to talk about, not you, then they want to talk about, then you will get appointments. It's not hard. If I look at Tracy and Simon Cryer right now, he showed me his calendar yesterday. He had 7 back-to-back appointments, and they're just running cold email to people. 7 back-to-back appointments that they made, right? Just from following up the email and saying, look, this is what it's about. If you're interested, let's make the time. Are you a fit? Is it something something useful, something relevant, something that you need to do right now? If that's the case, great. If it's not, then we're not a fit. Then do you mind from time to time that I provide you with some information about some of the things that we're seeing that are working the market? And every now and again, we're going to follow up. Is that okay with you? They're going to go, yes, great. Now you've got a nurture lead. So you should be able to walk people through, right? Absolutely, James. Absolutely. To answer your question, absolutely. I am. Absolutely. Right. So getting page not found message on. That's interesting. Try www.johnlogar.com. Oh, no, call. It's calljohnlogar.com. Calljohnlogar.com. That's what it is. So it's just calljohnlogar.com. James, if you go to calljohnlogar.com, jump in on the one on the left. Jump in on the one on the left, not on the right. Yeah. Okay. So that answers your question. Yeah, calljohnlogar.com. You'll see the example right there. It's not johnlogar.com. And yes, I need to redirect that to johnlogar.com. So with that, I hope this has been useful. Thank you for those who have shared and come on the call. Do you have any software tips on how to get someone's phone number? I just have their emails. I would Google that. There are directories and stuff like that. You can actually find numbers on. Compass, KOMPAS.com. That can get you numbers. But there are, I would just Google that. I'm not sure. Yeah, you can just pick. It's actually 495. Yeah, it's 495, Chris. But yeah, I'll change that. I just stuck that up there as an example to show all of you. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I'll change the copy. But thank you for sharing that, Chris. Appreciate it. So yeah, so James, yeah, you know where to find me. Absolutely, to answer your question. So with that, I want to thank you. We're going to put this recording up into our Facebook group at Consulting Unleashed. We are putting this on the Consulting Unleashed YouTube channel. If you go to consultingunleashed.com/go, G-O, you can make sure that you jump onto actually hopping on here every day with me, where I'll be sharing tactics and strategies pretty much like I have here. I'll also be sharing scripting, structure, focus, and approaches here live on the call. Andrew, thank you. James, thank you. John, thank you. I really appreciate you guys sharing. Congratulations on your sale, John. Chris says, getting my calls going. Awesome, well done. Thanks all of you for being here. I look forward to seeing you on the same time, same bat channel. It is 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I'm here every single day, Monday to Sunday. So if you want me to help you, if you know others who will benefit from being here, please do share consultingunleashed.com/go because they can also get the same advantage of the opportunities. Steve Miller, good to see you here. Trent Velasco, always nice to have you here. Ramon Daniel, nice to see you here, my friend. So with that, I want to thank you all for being here. I will see you same time, same bat channel tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Take care. I look forward to having you part of this opportunity. Take care.